1, 2. All right, welcome to the Relatively Jumbo podcast. Today is Monday, July 13th, and we had Fight Island over the weekend. So Fight Island happened, begrudgingly not on the beach.
Yeah.
No ocean. Couldn't see the ocean.
I was about to say that. That was my first. Outside of the fights were pretty good. 5 fights. The 5 fights were great, with the headliner being Usman, obviously stomping on Masvidal, which was literally like stomping on his head. It was just pretty great to see.
That fight sucked. The last fight was terrible.
I
He
thought
just had him against the fence the whole time, and then he was stepping on his feet.
The thing is, it went the distance. Like, it was one of those things where you could tell, like, obviously he wasn't as prepared as you would think he would be, the way that Masvidal talks. Like, he's like a scrapper. He'd fight anybody, anytime, any day. And it looked like he was just not kind of, whether it be conditioned for it or whether he just wasn't ready for it.
Well, he only had 6 days heads up.
Yeah, I know, and it's tough. That's why they need a rematch, and I think he kind of deserves it because he did go the distance with him, because I think a lot of other guys probably wouldn't off of that. But I'm more just upset, going back to it, is that it wasn't on an island. They literally had it in an arena, and I was pissed. I was like, where's the tiki torches? Where's the people on the beach? What the fuck is going on right now? Like, this looks like Jacksonville again. Why? I mean, why'd you need to move it to Abu Dhabi if you're just going to make it look like Jacksonville?
Yeah, I need it to be the jungle where there's like a lion walking around in the background, or he's like holding the scorecard, or I need it to be like on the beach and there's sand. Yeah, it's got to be one of those two.
And Saudi princes just walking around, oil tycoons just watching the fights and just like having like a half of the beach to themselves. That's what I wanted. But you think about it, really hard to fathom guys literally fighting for like 25 minutes, 5 rounds, in like over 100-degree weather. So I mean, I guess I don't fault them for that, but it's still, they showed the picture of the octagon on a beach. I was jacked for it, and then that's not where they fought, and I'm like, what? So what is that? A prop? What is that? A fucking sick joke that you made, Dana? So outside of just the executions of the fights, I'm mad that the location really, I mean, yeah, it's in Abu Dhabi, but it's not on the beach. Don't ever say it was on the beach. It wasn't on the beach. So,
other than that, main event, I thought, or the main fight was super boring. I was waiting for something to happen. I don't really have interest to watch them fight again because I think it would just be the same thing, except Masvidal would have a little better conditioning. But I don't know that matters. Also, Max Holloway got robbed.
He got robbed again. I mean,
yeah,
they got to probably go third time because this guy's, I mean, it's probably not going to happen because he lost, but it sucks. I feel bad for that dude. I like Max Holloway, and I think he's like a pretty good fighter.
I think he clearly won the first 3 rounds, and then I think Volk got the last 2, but like it wasn't enough to where he would have outscored him.
Yeah, honestly. And what about Paige Van Zandt? Oh my God, that was terrible.
Dude, what are you doing? You just go in there to immediately get armbarred? Like, what have you been training for?
I literally got up, got a beer, and then I sat back down, and she was literally tapping out. I'm like, this has been a minute. What the fuck is going on? She was.
Also, Aldo got his ass kicked, and then he just continued to get hit in the head, and the ref just refused to stop the fight. I don't know if it was like, hey, out of respect, I'm going to let Aldo try and get out of it, but like he was clearly not getting out of it. He was just leaking on the mat.
He's an old man. You might get some old man strength out of him. I know he's like in his early 30s, but in early 30s, isn't that like in their early 50s in UFC age at that point? I mean, he's
done a lot of fighting.
Yeah, he's done a lot. So he's got old man strength just by how much experience he has in the octagon. So I would have gave him that time too. I'm sure he was probably like talking to the ref too and being like, don't do anything. Like, I'm going to fight back. And this isn't like boxing where you're going to throw a towel in. These guys are just different animals, man. They're just going to fucking fight until they're getting their head beat up on the ground and the ref has to stop it. So, I mean, it sucks. I mean, he's kind of past his prime, but it was all right.
Awesome. Awesome commentary. 2 thumbs up. I will say I don't watch a whole lot of fighting, but I would say an inordinate amount of people got punched in the dick at this event.
Dude,
There
you should.
were one fight they had to stop it twice in the fight because the same guy got punched in the dick twice, and then he lost. That's a,
Yeah,
proverbial third punch to the dick.
wasn't that like that wasn't one of the that wasn't the main card. That was on ESPN, right? I always remember watching that fight. That dude like literally kicked him in the balls. He had to stop it for 5 minutes, and then he knees him in the balls. And the ref, and that was like 10 seconds left. There's still like seconds left. And the guy was looking at the ref. He's like, "Can I give more time?" He's like, "Let's just finish this out. I'm not gonna wait any longer. I'm not waiting."
Yeah, I will say part of it might have been because the guy was wearing the largest cup I've ever seen, so like it just kind of got in the way. I don't know, but he had a gigantic cup. It was distracting to say the least. Devin, I'm assuming you didn't watch.
No, I was working yesterday, so I missed the fights.
Oh my! This is work. This is work, Devin. No, I'm kidding.
All right,
Fuck
my
you.
other job down at Polecats, it was my night to shine,
And Shine, you did.
and I missed the fights.
He did dick
It
slaying on
sounds
the
like I didn't miss
stage.
much. It's not like I enjoy watching them. I'm never gonna pay to see any of those fights.
That's the thing. Yeah. If my friends buy it, I'm watching. I'm not gonna pay
Yes,
for it.
if I can watch it for free, I'll watch the fights. But if I have to go pay for it, I'm probably not watching the fights.
That's the same thought process I had with like when we were all in Arizona. That was when like the Wilder Fury fight was happening. I'm like, we're not gonna pay for this fight, but I'm gonna try to illegally download it to see if that's a possibility. And they blocked that
Yeah,
shit down like it was no other. And I feel like that's gonna start happening more often. Even the UFC. I think Dana White's talked about it. It's how many times he's had to stop like streams online. And they have a team at the UFC that literally just watches online, watches if sees their streams that are being put out there illegally during that fight, and it's just like, well, shit. I
because
mean, the
what are
comment.
the odds you pay for fights and they're actually what you want to see? I mean, is it
Well,
like a 1 in
that's
10 chance?
yeah. I mean, the last time that really happened was for me personally, because I'm a bigger boxing fan than UFC, but that's not to say I don't watch those fights either. It's probably like the Canelo Triple G first fight. That was like the one where it went 12 and they kind of split decisioned it. That's kind of bullshit in its own way, but those fights were pretty good to watch. They went full 12. They were beating the hell out of each other, and I mean, that was the last time I think I've probably paid myself for a fight. And those boxing fights are even more expensive than fucking like UFC fights. Those are like
And I feel like there's an even bigger chance to like not get the pure entertainment value out of a boxing match than a UFC fight.
yeah. That's why I never paid for Mayweather fights anymore because they just all.
Why would you want to watch that?
Yeah, he's just a defensive guy. It's not that fun.
I think that's kind of a Mayweather specific thing. Like at least with boxing, you can only do so much to not be fighting. Like with UFC, you can like just pin them against the fence and they're both just kind of standing there. You could go down and they're both just kind of down. But like with boxing, like yeah, you could lean on each other, but there's only so much you could do to not
Yeah,
be fighting.
Well, because
yeah.
like how much if you pay for it, like pay per view, big boxing matches with everything, how much is it?
It's got to be around like 80, $90. I want to say.
So if you're paying 80, $90 and then you tune to like that Tyson fight where he knocks the guy out in the first 10 seconds, are you happy that you spent that 80, 90
I mean,
bucks?
that's sick, kind of, because Mike Tyson's.
That's what I mean. Like, would you rather see that or would you rather see a Mayweather fight go
No,
12
I'd rather
rounds?
see Tyson. I'd rather see Tyson because that guy's like you're expecting that to happen. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but that's a whole different. You got to pick other fighter because I mean, if you're talking about Mike Tyson in his prime, dude, like that's like
that's who
a
you pay
top
for.
draw of all time. Yeah, you're paying for him to knock somebody out in 10 seconds. Like I'll
Yeah.
watch
I
that.
feel like that's most of those guys, though. Most of the big draw guys have exciting fights. I feel like Mayweather is the only one that gets shit for having boring fights. That's one of the bigger names. Unless I don't obviously know a whole lot about boxing, but I can't really think of anybody else that's that high profile that is also clowned for having boring fights.
I'm I and later on in his career, De La Hoya was more talked about like that, but that was because he just kind of, he was more focused on doing other things. Like that, what was that? Like when I was in high school, where we were in high school, that De La Hoya Mayweather fight that was so hyped up when everyone was talking about it, and that was really boring because again, if Mayweather doesn't have to knock somebody out, he's not going to do it. So it just, he'd rather just go the distance and win off of points because he can do that every single time. And yeah, I think you're right. It's jarring because he's like the best figure, or not I wouldn't say best. He's a good person, but like he's like the biggest figure in boxing during that decade, and there's literally not many other people. Like Pacquiao, you can say that, but he's lost a lot too. Like Pacquiao's got a couple of losses under his belt. Like Canelo, that's like I wouldn't even consider that in Mayweather's like uh era. I mean, Mayweather fought him when he was like 19 years old, and like other shit like that. But I just it's we all criticize Mayweather because he's like he's like in his own sort of element. He's a 50-0 guy. I mean, it's tough to really have any complaints when you're undefeated. So people are gonna find reason to complain about him.
Do you think he'll fight again?
Mayweather?
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as he runs out of money.
I don't know how you can. I don't know how. I don't know how, but it's possible.
Much money.
Yeah, I mean he's made what? Probably like 200
billions. No, it's got to be somewhere like I feel like it's more than that. It's got to be like I was thinking $400 to $500 million. That dude. I mean, just the Pacquiao fight alone.
Oh yeah,
he got like $100 million.
That's a good point.
Like he's got to be making dough.
Well, that's the thing is he's the 50-0 guy. He's also a big shit talker. He's a big poster of himself with money and like all these bets that he's won. And I think when you're that type of person outside of the ring and then your fights are like boring and you're a very defensive boxer, I think that makes people upset. So I think you're going to catch more shit than if you were just a guy that kind of kept to himself and then fought like that.
Yeah, I need to know how many losing tickets that motherfucker's got. He always shows the winning tickets. Show me the losers. You got a lot more of those, I bet.
He'll never show you those.
Exactly.
You personally. He comes to your house, he shows you his winning tickets. He'll never show you his losing ones.
Hang him up like some degenerate, like he's like a freaking he's not acting like he's a world-class athlete. It's just like some big guy that like goes to OTBs like I won on this horse, I won 7,000. It was the greatest day of my life.
Yeah, he's like one of those old dudes that's got like the paper in his hand. He's like slapping it against his other hand, yelling at the TV.
Or he's like riding himself, like he's like hitting his own ass like a horse, like go, go, go.
Yeah, that's Mayweather. He'll fight again. He'll probably fight again, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think I saw Mayweather at the local Hammond, Indiana OTB. He was really desperate for some money.
Is that the take you wanted from me on the UFC fights? Is us eventually shit-talking Floyd Mayweather's betting?
Yeah, I don't know how we got to that tangent.
Like that's the tangent you wanted us to get to, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, when I throw it to you and I can obviously tell you like haven't watched or haven't seen it, then I'm just expecting you to go off on some tangent, and you succeeded. So thank you.
What is UFC?
Let's just talk about hockey so we can get Devin's talking in.
Oh, I'm ready to go.
Devin is specifically the fireworks salesman in Joe Dirt. He only has sparklers and snakes. And he only's got like hockey.
Those are the ones that I like.
And football. Yeah, exactly.
Those are the ones I like.
No, Hoosker do's, Hoosker don'ts.
You don't have any kitty chasers. You don't have any whistling bungholes with or without the kitty chaser. Yeah, I just like snakes and sparklers.
But
all right, well, give us the update on hockey then.
I'm gonna go from chicken wing to kicking ass. So my update on hockey is: did you see this? Did you hear about this? The NHL.
Did you see this?
The teams in the playoffs have emailed their season ticket holders requesting that they send in videos of celebrations that they can play during the broadcast and during the games.
They're
so like,
lame.
What it says is, imagine like it says pretend in the email they sent out. Pretend it's 3 seconds before seeing your team score a goal, and then do like in your house on your webcam without watching any hockey, go crazy because your team just scored a goal.
No, I hate that.
They want you to do that, and then like team specific things. So like the Blackhawks, you always go crazy during the national anthem. They want people to go crazy, like on their webcam, looking at their computer, imagining they're in the stadium, like
Ah, fuck yeah, I love it.
Exactly like that. So I think the idea is like what they did for the NFL draft, where they were like supposed to be cutting to fan reactions to who got drafted, and then like that didn't work at all.
That was lame.
It was just really awkward. Goodell waving at his TV screens and then giving you the pick.
Yeah. Didn't what team had for that? Who had the BBC meme? The big black cock guy. They put him posted his ass on the picture. It's like, are you guys ready for the pick? And it's just that dude. He's like, that you know what he's smiling about.
It looks like one of the fans of the Buffalo Sabres is just getting up out of bed.
But I was asking Nick before the show, like, what is the ideal broadcast form for watching these playoff games in the bubble without fans?
Like, what do you do when there's a stoppage of play?
Is it just gonna look like, do you know, like when they film high school basketball games and then they put those on like channel 100, whatever it is, and
Yeah.
they just always are following everybody on the court, and it's super awkward?
Yeah, it's gonna look weird as shit.
Like, is that what they're going to do?
It's gonna look weird. I think it's just gonna look. It's just gonna look like they're playing in a practice facility. I think
The
that.
sounds are gonna be bad. Like, it's just gonna sound really weird audio wise, and then visually wise, you can't like broadcast wise, you can't cut to fan reactions if there's no fans there.
But the main thing is what I want to hear the players, dude. I want to hear the in ice, and they're not gonna do it because
To get mic'd up. Oh yeah.
it's gonna be cut. So they're gonna try to do so much to block all that out. It's gonna be weird because it's no one there. It's gonna be hard. They're gonna have to dub it out. They're gonna be close to this. I feel like because it's in a tight practice arena where they're doing it, they're gonna be pretty close. At least the announcers' mics to the ice, or at least around that area. And that's just
Right.
you're gonna hear
So
everything, and then they're gonna try to block that out.
I think you have to, like, you're not even gonna get the sound of the game because like the acoustics of the fans being there draws up all of the sorry, fuck you. Hey, real sorry about that, you fucker. But now you're gonna hear that, either hear that or you don't hear any of the game.
And I don't think people understand. I want to hear the refs talk too, because those guys cuss just as much as the players as well. It's just all cussing on the ice. Like they just
Yeah, they're
all are
fun.
just throwing. Yeah, they're just wild fucks. It's good when HBO does all those like real times or whatever when they do the road to the
Those are the best.
whatever the
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah, you hear all that. It's gonna be like that, but they're gonna try to not do that. They're gonna
I don't know. I feel like hockey refs might be my favorite refs in sports. Like nobody really like shits on hockey refs.
yeah, because they're just they're battling out there with everybody else too. They're skating up and down like fucking. They're going pretty fast down the ice. They're pretty
Yeah,
exhausted. They're doing a lot of shit, and
it's
I
dangerous.
for the yeah, it is dangerous. I mean, so is like
The only reason that you know a hockey ref's name is Wes McCauley, and that's because he does the funniest like penalty calls and like
Yeah.
explanations. Like you don't know the name of a hockey ref because they're shitty at refing hockey. Like
Yeah,
they
right.
all seem to be pretty good.
I feel
And
like you'd probably know a lot of NBA refs.
oh yeah, well you got what's his name, Joey Crawford,
Yeah.
and
who's the other guys? Dick Pavetta. He's still around, right? I think he's 108 years old. He's like the crypt keeper.
I think Joey Crawford retired, right?
Yeah, Elmer Fudd. Yeah, he retired
Yeah.
a long ass time ago.
Jesus.
That's what he is. He's the biggest. I hate his ass, but we'll talk about that at another time. But
So then you have to make really like extravagant calls while you're playing sports to get recognized. Like, what umpires do you know?
Oh well, you know Joe West and
Right.
Angel Hernandez because they're both the worst.
I'm a baseball fan, so I like them. Laz Diaz,
Les Diaz is fine.
Wagner. What's his first name? Wagner.
I
I know
don't
that
know.
can talk. Harrelson hates his ass. And another blown call by Wagner. And another. I think that's the guy that he like threatened. He's like, this guy needs to go to umpiring school and learn the basics of baseball. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And that was like 8 years ago.
He was drinking real heavily in the booth that year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man.
I like how Hawk Harrelson just took the torch from Harry Carey.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll be taking this. I'll be saying ridiculous shit while being hammered.
Yeah, which is fantastic. That's what I need. When I watch baseball, that's what I want to hear. I want to hear somebody just as drunk as me in the booth calling the game.
And just as passionate.
Yeah.
he lives in like Southwest. He lives in like Benton Harbor, Michigan. So he's making like a 2-hour drive, or was making a
What?
2-hour drive every. Yeah, he lived in Michigan. He's making 2-hour drives just to get there. I just want to know how hammered he was getting in on the car ride there. His wife's probably driving him. He's probably getting real sultry in the fucking car. He's like, put the AC on, honey. Come on.
Dadgummit.
I gotta work with Stone Pony today. He's annoying. He's lame as shit.
Listen, don't talk shit about Steve Stone. Everybody, you need the straight man.
I love Steve Stone. He had to take a lot.
He's the David Spade to his Chris Farley.
Yeah, you got to have someone there.
Yeah.
The comparison I've always thought when thinking about Hawk Harrelson and Steve Stone, Farley and Spade, 1-2 punch.
That's why you listen to this podcast, to get things that you never thought of before. You're welcome.
And then I will say, just to wrap up this whole thing about the refs, football refs, you only know them because they're all awful and terrible, and I don't like any NFL refs.
Well, and you know what's his name because he's jacked.
Yeah, Paul Tagliabue.
Ed Hockley?
No, he's the old GM. No,
Ed Hockley.
Ed Hockley.
Paul Tagliabue.
That's the old That's the old freaking.
That's the old commissioner.
The old commish.
I like Ed Hockley because he always explains penalties like you're 6 years old. He's like, there's a holding on the play where he grabbed that guy's jersey and he held him for longer than he was supposed to hold that guy, resulting in 10 yards. Yeah. A lot of them are.
What's the ref's name that looks like the lawyer from Always Sunny?
Oh, dude, he's also a college basketball guy, isn't he? Oh, dude.
He's good too. And then what's the other guy's name?
Didn't he just recently retire?
What's the guy's name? Carey, that also always got the calls wrong, and so CBS invited him up into the booth.
Yeah, and he'd always get them wrong there.
They got him explaining the calls and then always guessing wrong on what the result's going to be.
Mike Carey.
Yeah.
And the other guy you're thinking of is Gene Steratore.
Yeah,
that sounds right. Yeah. I like Gene Steratore.
He's a good. Funny story about Gene. He was what was that infamous Super Bowl that he was like? He was a ref, I think, not last year, 2 years ago. I don't know. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. I don't think it was that infamous, but it's just, I mean, working a Super Bowl is pretty infamous. He was a head judge there, and then the next, because he's a college basketball ref as well. The next game that he had a ref after the Super Bowl was a UIC basketball game. I'm not even joking. Gene fucking Steratore was out reffing a UIC basketball game like 2 days after the Super Bowl happened.
Is that like Commissioner? If you screw this up one more time, you will be reffing Little League games out in the middle of Iowa.
I will throw your ass at the.
You won't get a job in this business ever again.
Your ass will be.
They do that to guys like when they start to get like a big ego. They give them a heat check and they make them ref a UIC game. They're like, listen, motherfucker, if you don't shape up, you're going to be doing a lot more UIC games than Super Bowls.
You'll be lucky if I let you ref an intramural game at fucking McHenry County Community College if you screw this up one more time.
I feel like Gene's the humble guy. Like after the Super Bowl, he's probably up on the biggest highs. Like, I gotta calm down a bit. Let me book this.
Yeah, Gene's sick. We're a big Gene Steratore podcast.
Yeah,
everybody knows we're a big Gene Steratore podcast.
Put him as the our Twitter profile like cover photo. Just put his ass up on the top cover photo. It'd be pretty funny.
All right, I got it. I'm gonna take care of that now. Yeah.
Devin, I want to hear your legitimate opinion though. Just going back to like this NHL happening, like August 1st, is it? First week of August.
August 1st.
Which first of all, it's kind of surprising they're starting that late. I mean, I thought they were going to be starting like next week. I feel like they've been like the first league that's like, all right, we're ready to go. We're not really having complaints about this, and I feel like it's taking forever to get all this shit settled.
I forgot about this until right now. Let me tell you why I think it's going to work. Because Gary Bettman is an insane person, and he loves to like make everybody follow the rules exactly. And if you don't, he will like bring the hammer down. So the story I heard is, in quarantine, you have a player, like even if it's a fourth line center, who breaks quarantine and is like heading down to the titty bar. He's not supposed to be. Like, the violation is that your team will lose not only this year's first round draft pick, but the next 3 years first round draft pick you'll lose.
Are you serious? No
Swear to
way.
God.
What are
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
They're penalizing teams. They have really strict like quarantine rules. If anybody on your team is caught breaking the quarantine rules, they're taking all of your first round draft picks away.
Is that real?
Yeah. Yes.
That's wild to me.
So that's why I think the NHL one will work because like it is real strict.
I thought that it's just Batman gonna give him a spanking. Like, call him into my office. I'm gonna
That's
give
part of it.
these boys a proper spanking.
Every time when your team would have drafted in the first round, you're in his office getting spanked.
If you,
And then I
I gotta say he gets a lot of shit, but like I don't know another commissioner that's done a better job during his tenure. Oh well, probably Adam Silver, but like
yeah.
but still, like how much hockey's grown is crazy. Like I don't think he's done a bad job. People just like booing him because it's funny.
I mean, Paul Tagliabue too, and I mean, let's be honest, David Stern. I mean, Adam Silver. I mean, David Stern crawled so Adam Silver can sprint. I mean, he literally. I mean, if David Stern didn't want to do it anymore, if he'd still be there. I mean, oh well, he's dead now, but I mean, he could have been there a lot longer if he wanted to. But I think
Adam Silver when he dropped the hammer on the Clippers, like forever, everybody loves him. He's like, yeah, you're a racist. You can't own a team anymore.
Magic Johnson, what does he know?
He's
got AIDS.
Dude, my favorite thing is the what was the court transcript where? Hold on, let me pull it up. Keep going. I'm gonna pull it up.
that was legitimately on like a 2020 interview. Like that was 60 minutes. Like he just says that. I'm like, jeez, this guy is fucking nuts.
All right, I've got the transcript. Oh, well, I fool around sometimes. I do. When a girl seduces me and tells me all of these hot stories and dirty things and tells me how much she wants to suck on me and take my shoes off and licks my feet and touches me. When I'm in a limousine, she takes all of her clothes off. The limo driver said, "What's going on?" And she started sucking me on the way to Mr. Kuhn's house. And I thank her. I thank her for making me feel good. And then the lawyer goes, "Sir, the question was, is this your handwriting?"
What an insane person.
And that right there, folks, is my favorite piece of literature.
Sir, you are at a Wendy's drive-thru. What do you want?
That's like your dramatic reading you have to do in English class in like 10th grade.
Oh, God.
I'll never forget that. I'll be 80 years old on my deathbed.
We're putting that on your tombstone.
Can we do that a top 5 one time? Like top 5 draft of just the most ridiculous quotes or ridiculous tweets or ridiculous things of all time. Because there's some good ones. I think another classic. Sorry, we keep bringing up these dumbass tweets or whatever. Just any quotes. What about like James Brown putting his porn up on his Twitter?
Oh God!
Could I?
The porn search? Do you have it up?
Yeah, I have the actual. I have the actual video of what it's called. If anybody wants to look it up tonight, and I love. He preferenced the next tweet following. He's like, "Oh, got hacked. Sorry about it." He obviously put this on his Twitter, and it was a sexy little brunette bitch sucking and fucking her personal trainer's big cock. Like, damn, Jesus, James. Like, you really you were going. He's the guy that goes 50 pages into Pornhub. Like, he's that guy.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this is a good one.
That's the best term in the business: sucking and fucking. If I ever have a video come out,
I don't understand how you tweet that, because that means you typed that whole thing thinking it was a search engine. Well, like you typed out the whole thing.
He copied the link and pasted it. What is he sending it to friends? Like, I don't fucking understand what's going on.
Yeah, or that, or he copied it from, like he was watching the video, he copied the title, and then he pasted it. I don't know where he thought he pasted it. Not Twitter.
He's sharing it with the CBS NFL guys. He's like, hey, Marino, Cower, look at this video I found. I think you might get a little kick out of this one.
Yeah, CBS is blue, Twitter's blue. I thought it was the same app.
Here's my hot take. That's awesome.
So you think it is gonna work, the NHL?
I think the NHL one will. Yeah.
So back to that. Do you think it will
Yeah.
work? Good.
I have hope for that one.
I think they're all gonna work. To be honest, people will get sick, yeah, but are they gonna finish out the season? Yeah. I mean, they're all committed to their they're all already practicing. They're all getting committed. The NBA guys are committed. The NHL guys are committed. The MLB guys are committed. Like they're all doing it. I don't feel like they're gonna turn around and be like, I don't want to do this anymore. If the guys are there that are already there, they want to play. Like you'll
If
see,
LeBron gets sick, what are the odds that they just cancel the rest of the season?
100%. Why would you even go on?
You think so?
No, but LeBron,
I bet they still
LeBron, I
play.
feel, yeah, LeBron's gonna be in his cryogenic chamber. Forget the hotel room. He's like, just put my cryogenic chamber at the side of the basketball court so I can sleep at night.
He's got his cryogenic chamber just right next to Space Mountain. He just got it right next to the ride.
They should have it right by the court, and then as soon as he comes out of the chamber and plays a game, and then goes right back into the chamber to wait for the next one.
Yeah, they have like a plate of food for him.
He has to come out. He's like, he's like getting lifted up.
Like sarcophagus style, he rises up and then plays a game and then goes right back in.
So if the Lakers win the championship, it's not going to count, right? LeBron,
All bullshit.
he,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
all bullshit.
yeah.
Who do you want to see win?
I would like to say that, but like nobody brings up that the Hawks won in a strike-shortened year in 2013.
This is like the second time you've brought it up in the podcast, Nick. What do you got? Some gripes about it or something? What is your deal? What, you don't like that
No, I'm
championship?
just saying it's like
What?
the same thing. They played like the same amount of games.
It's not the same.
They played like
I don't.
what, 60 games that year.
Yeah,
They played like 62 games in the NBA.
they played like 3/4 of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now they're playing in a bubble, so they win.
You're right.
Count.
Doesn't count. Doesn't count. I'm not like a huge LeBron fan. It's just like a similar situation. I'd like to see Giannis get one so that he doesn't have to worry about it and then can just go the fuck off the rest of his career.
That would be cool. He's not staying in Milwaukee, is he?
No, he's
There's
coming
no
to
way.
Chicago. He's gonna come to Chicago
right.
soon. Yo,
Bullshit.
hey, we got new management. Sure, John Paxson's still there, calling the shots, but you know what? There's different figureheads around him, so there's just new people for John Paxson to bully and try to fight.
Like Paxson did put together a good team. It's not his fault that Miami got Wayne, LeBron, and Bosh all on the same roster.
You know what, Devin? Don't bail him out because it is his fault. Because he just assumes people want to play there because of the history of it. Really, which is just Michael Jordan.
It's bad history. The history sucks there. If you look at how they treat players, it's not good.
Exactly. So the fact is that like all these NBA players all talk to each other about like their management sucks ass, dude. They all hate everyone that goes through there does not like him. And because he tries to be this fucking alpha male type dude that fires coaches on Christmas Eve, that fights coaches in the locker room like Vinny Del Negro, and like when he has one successful coach in Tom Thibodeau, like he's like, I don't like how you do this stuff. So figure it out, do it my way or you're fired. And he's just not pleasant to be a boss, or he's not a pleasant boss, I'm assuming.
To be fair on the Tom Thibodeau thing, like you probably shouldn't have all your starters playing 45 minutes a game in like February.
He might be the Knicks
That is
coach.
true.
You hear that?
You think so?
I didn't.
Yeah, he's getting interviewed for that job, the Knicks coach, which would actually be one of the better moves that they've done in like 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they could use some structure.
Well, like you can do no Ron getting that head coaching job, right? Like even if you suck, it's not your fault. It's because you're coaching the Knicks.
Yeah, Thibodeau. I mean, yeah, it's just you can't. He's very very stern. It's not for a team that's like really raring to make a championship run. But I also have to think that those guys were motivated to play more because he was there. And like you listen to Noah, you listen to D Rose, you listen to all those guys on those teams. No one really ever had a problem with Thibodeau and how they worked him. And that's the thing. Like it seems like it's made up. It's fake news, and it's probably because the management wanted to make it like pit them against him and being like, well, look at how bad this guy is. He makes these basketball players practice, dude. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but the problem with that isn't the players necessarily revolting. It's that those guys shouldn't have that many miles on their tires when the playoffs
Yeah,
come.
he ran those guys into the ground like all season
They
long.
completely fell apart.
Like Sweet Lou played like Luol Deng averaged 50 minutes a game. There's only 40 minutes in the game. It doesn't make sense.
48.
He's doing wind sprints. He's doing wind sprints like at halftime.
He's just a general, man. Tibbs was a general. He demanded a lot out of people, just how he demanded a lot out of himself. I still think the most iconic Thibodeau story from his time in Chicago is that he threw an opening pitch for the White Sox game. The day before, there's a baseball field that he went to, like by the stadium or wherever, or the Berto Center, wherever that was, and he literally was throwing pitches for like 5 hours outside.
You
It's
have to do.
noted that.
Don't you have to do that?
No, not if you're a sane person.
I would for sure get practice throwing off of a mound. I wouldn't do 5 hours, but I'm definitely probably like
You have to practice,
20
right?
or 30 throws. Yeah.
Or like funny stories like when Noah is trying to get like early reps in at 6 in the morning, and yet Thibodeau's still upstairs looking at film, and he sees Noah downstairs, and he starts running drills on him and goes downstairs and starts working his ass. It's so hilarious. It's so funny.
Yeah, I like that era of Bulls team, but like he should be a little flexible in his ways and maybe not grind everybody down.
That's true.
Yeah. What were you talking about? NBA bubble.
The different bubbles.
So it's you think it's between the Lakers, the Bucks, with the Clippers? Is there anybody else from the East that's good?
Is Boston
No.
good?
I mean they're good.
Boston, maybe. Yeah.
I would say out of those four, they're definitely number 4.
Philly?
Nah, they're fine. I mean, they're just going to have the same problems that they've had the whole time.
Toronto's been all right. I mean, Siakam is really good.
Toronto's good. Toronto's
Yeah.
really good. Like they're a solid team. They're about like as much of a team. Like nobody is the guy every single night. Like Pascal Siakam's really good, but it's a lot more evenly balanced
Yeah.
than some of the other teams.
And it shows that, Kawhi obviously was a big bump for their team. I'm not taking anything away from him in his championship last year, but I mean, he had apparently a lot of great role players around him as well that are blossoming. I mean, Siakam really showed his superstardom last postseason, so I'm glad he's getting that recognition now that he kind of deserves. Also, a team randomly that's kind of good is Miami because Butler's there, and they're like in the middle. They could make a run because they just have talent there. So that could be another team. The East is still wide open to me until the Bucks show me that they can go to the finals, they can beat these teams. I mean, they're incredible this year. They've only lost like 15 games, but like,
listen, Giannis, you got to prove it to Steve.
Yeah, you want me to go up 100 miles north? I'll give you a little fucking pep talk right there. Hey, Giannis. You want to get it? Are you want some Merck's cheddar on your burger, Giannis?
Was that speaking of like quotes or tweets? Did you see? Was that Giannis the one about eating a smoothie? His first smoothie.
Whose first smoothie?
Giannis having his first smoothie.
That sounds really familiar.
Was it an ass smoothie?
I want to say it was Giannis. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, Giannis. January 20th, 2014. I just tasted for the first time a smoothie. Man, God bless America. Smiley face.
2014, dude. That is such early, well, not even early Twitter, but such naive Twitter. You just put out shit like that. I just taste smoothie. I just taste for first time smoothie. It is phenomenal.
Yeah, he's good at basketball. And apparently drinking smoothies.
Yeah, loves smoothies, loves basketball. All right, moving on. We're going to do a top 5. This week, I hope you've all done your homework. We've got top 5.
You got to keep going. That's the music for top 5.
That's the music. That's the music for top 5.
Stop. Why'd you stop?
Stop stopping.
Shit. All right. Well, I guess that's the music for top 5.
Hey, quit stopping.
All right. So top 5 Chappelle Show skits. How are we going to decide the order?
I'll go last this time because I went first last time.
What do you?
Then I'll
you
go
want
first this
The
time.
fuck is this? I don't want middle. No.
You should have called it.
No. We're playing it this way. I'm already out. No, I'm kidding.
I bet I could guess. I'm not going to.
Guess what? My first pick.
Don't guess.
Yeah, I want to say based on how well I know each of you, what your first picks would be. But you say them, I'll tell you if that's what I thought or not.
All right, well then don't lie.
No, I won't lie.
You're gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie.
My number one is shit. I already want to make all of these number one. Number one, I'm gonna go with.
I ranked mine already.
I did my top 5, but I wrote. So I thought I was I'm gonna go read through all of the skits and I'll pick out like 8 or 9 and then choose from there. I have 18.
I almost watched all of season 2 today. I was doing research. I watched most of season 2.
I watched a couple of episodes to really kind of decide what
My number one is gonna be Mad Real World.
Such a good one. That is such a good one.
I know you like that one.
Yeah, that because it's just hilarious. The dad coming in is I made.
I don't know how I'm looking at you.
Oh, look, he's doing it again. He's doing it again.
How is he looking? What are you doing?
Got any weed?
Yeah, they're just doing dice in the back. I mean, it's just the perfect sketch.
It's the whole episode too, right? Like I feel like that's a whole episode. Like there's no.
Yeah, I think there's only like 1 or 2. I think there's only 1 or 2 other parts. It like kind of cuts in and out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's wonderful. Steve?
My number one, and again, I've rewatched a lot of skits over the weekend because I knew we were doing this and over the week. So the older I've gotten, some of the funnier things are just hilarious. So the older I've gotten, the more I understand why this is funny. So my number one pick is Black Bush. And I think Black Bush is one of the funniest skits I think I've ever seen. When they got Mos Def as the Homeland Security guy with the yellow cake, that's the funniest shit. Don't touch that. Don't drop that shit.
Cradle of fucking civilization.
Cradle of fucking civilization. Oil. What you talking about oil, bitch? You cooking? And it's just Jamie Foxx playing Tony Blair. Like just
we don't know what he has.
As George so eloquently put it. So yeah, that's my number one.
Want to drop bombs over Baghdad. Basically, I'm not doing this shit by myself.
Gay people getting married, y'all. They getting married, y'all. I got this shit.
I'm kind of bummed. I have 3 that I'm really torn between, so I don't know which odd man out. So I'm gonna say, so for me, I made my list based on just ones that like I could either quote the most or like just enjoy the most, whether they're the best or not the best.
Yeah.
So my number one, I'm going, The World's Greatest Wars with Mos Def, with Earl the Snake White. Because I mean that. One. Yeah, it was a tragedy. Yeah. Can you repeat the question? So I'm gonna go. That one is my number one, and this one is really really tough for me because I'm really torn between these 2. But I'm gonna have to go to Play a Hater's Ball. As my number 2. As my number 2. I thought you were gonna do that one first, which would have saved me.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's a.
I thought it was between that and the Mad Real World. So those are my 1 and 2 picks.
But yeah, those are some good
ones. Hate. You corny.
That's a good one.
Next motherfucker that says something while I'm talking is getting shot. Believe that.
Looks like he got dolphin teeth.
I think the best one is who is the guy? He's got the afro sheen. He's like, after he just hates on somebody, he's like, hit me, baby. Sprays the fucking afro sheen in his hair.
Is that Donnell Rawlings?
Yeah, yes. I like the Korean guy in it too. He's like, you look like broke ass sexual chocolate. Like, they just gave that guy some fucked up shit to say the whole time they're filming that skit.
Yeah.
He was in also I don't want to bring up other ones. World Series of Dice. He was classically as fuck you as a classic
Yeah.
dicer.
Yep. I watched that one today
Yeah.
too. So good.
But going back to history's greatest wars, I think the best one is when Cone Roller, General Cornwall Wallace, played by Mos Def, goes to jail and meets Tyrone Biggums and learns about crack and how to make it.
Y'all need to mix that King powder and sell that shit.
It's amazing and it's so simple to make.
P.S. Every part of that skit's the best.
Yeah,
We
I can
got-
talk about that skit for a very, very long time, and it's
Yeah.
just it's very good. Number 2 is a tough one for me because there's a lot of good stuff out there, a lot to be had,
There's still a lot of good.
and I'm gonna say because I saw this one recently and it was giving me some good kicks, and we just actually talked about it on the show. Nick brought it up, so Trading Spouses will be
No.
my second
Yeah.
pick.
No.
It's a good one.
We're running you dry right now.
You're killing me.
Smells like a lightsaber.
Get the fuck out.
I don't smell no dinner cooking.
No, he just walks in, he starts smoking his cigarette. Like, put my bag in my room. Put my bag in my room.
I think one of the most underrated lines from there is go upstairs, wash ass, come down and watch Martin Lawrence.
I'm starting to get a tone with me here.
Use your inside voice, throw your ass outside.
He has sex through his pajama pants.
Do you mind if I turn off this R&B music? I want to hear the sound of you breathing.
All right, well, now I got to make some adjustments, and I've got 2 in a row.
Good. I hope we ruined your list.
Did I say this before anything? I mean, is anyone going
No.
to pick Rick James at all? Or is that like...
That's one of those things where, like, it's really, really good, but I've heard it so many times,
Yeah,
and so many
exactly.
people have said Rick James, bitch, that it can't be up there for me.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
So I was just.
It's I've heard it too much.
It's literally the reason why he left doing the show. Like, that's one of the main reasons, because people would come up to him and say that shit and be like, that's literally annoying as fuck. You don't know anything else about me.
But I watched that episode again today. It was going to be on my list because it physically makes me laugh out loud when I watch that sketch.
It's a great sketch. I'll go out on a limb and say Dave Chappelle made a lot of great sketches. I'll say it.
I want to pick ones that are, and some of these aren't deep cut, but I just want to pick some that are just kind of out of the, just giving people flashbacks about what's good.
I say we post our lists and we have the people vote on which top 5 is the best top 5.
Sure.
On what platform?
All of them.
All of them?
I don't know how to do polls. Yeah.
I'll do Twitter.
Are you writing these down, Nick?
Yes.
I got them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I got them too.
Okay.
I don't write. I don't do that. I use my mind. I'm just the talent here, so I need you guys to write.
You're just a pretty face.
I'm just a star of the show. You call me when you need me. I'm done after.
Listen, pretty bitch, I'm up, and I'm going.
Okay, you got 2.
Oh my god! All right, I gotta go. Number 3 or number 2. Number 2 is World Series of Dice.
Knew it.
Good one. It's a good one.
Clickety clack.
It's just perfect. Boy, you are the goddamn devil. And number 4.
7. 7.
Sam.
And just like that, the game gets robbed.
Luckily for me, I hid my keys up my ass.
Good thinking.
Sorry, honey.
Number 3.
Oh.
Number 3, I'm gonna go with Making the Band.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a good. We shut down the studio, yo.
What you doing your taxes? Doing your taxes?
You're just gonna crunch numbers. That's what's going on in the streets. Your taxes.
I haven't watched that one in a while. Now I got to give a run back on that.
I'm shutting down the studio until you get me some pure Cambodian titty milk.
I only drink the finest breast milk.
He clacking the bottles.
Breast milk, you make my day.
Number 3, it might be a reach, but this is one that I think the three of us, just love personally because we quoted it so many times. In our college days, it's when Dave gets Oprah pregnant.
Oh,
Oh,
Get away from
such a-
Oprah, honey! I'm learning karate to protect you. I swear to God, Stedman, you get the fuck.
Stedman, if you fuck this up for me,
Hey, honey, is it cool if I get a happy ending? She walks away. Hey, she didn't say no.
Him leaving Comedy Central is the funniest shit ever,
Oh
too.
man.
I quit. I quit. Throws the garbage can up in the air.
Oh,
So
that's
yes, that's a
fantastic.
great one.
That
All
one's so
right,
good.
Devin, you got your
got-
3 and 4.
3 and 4. Okay, so I'm gonna go for 3. The Wayne Brady sketch.
Like,
When,
are you
when
taking the whole episode or just the end part?
when they're driving around, that's what I'm
Okay,
taking.
I got you.
Just the end part. And then for number 4, I'm gonna go with the R. Kelly music video.
Yep.
Oh, piss on you.
Going R. Kelly.
It's a good
music
one.
Video.
It is a good one. My 4th, I'm really kind of torn on a couple right now, so I have to really make this a good pick. I'm picking Calvin Gets a Job at Whack Arnold.
Yes, Whack
Oh.
Arnold.
Whack
Oh,
Arnold.
buddy.
Saw that one today too. Fantastic.
Smell like French fries.
Whose gloves are these? Bitch, who you fucking, OJ?
Whack Arnold's is tearing his family apart.
I don't even eat hamburgers. You're damn right you don't eat hamburgers because I ain't getting you none.
You want Whack Arnold? You gotta go through Calvin.
Okay, so I've got 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, well, number 4, I'm going to go Fear Factor with Tyrone Biggums.
Another just classic. Classic Joe Rogan before he's super famous.
Yeah.
Super duper famous. And yeah, that shit, the bull penis one. It's like, ooh, save some for me. suck them juices off. Oh man.
And then my number 5, it might be going out on a limb, but I die laughing every time, is Fisticuff. Turn my headphones up.
Oh.
Turn them shits up.
Turn them up.
Funkmaster Flex.
It dropped the beat and hold it, missed it. Treble.
Put some treble in it. Put some treble in it. That's my word.
That's my word.
That's a great one. Let's see. My last.
There's a lot of good ones in here still.
Yeah, I mean, we've made lists of like 18 to 20 to. I mean, it's just. It's wild. For my last one, I'm gonna have to go with reparations. That's
that was a
great
tough
one.
cut. That was a tough cut for me. I almost
a great
picked
one. The Tron is the richest man in the world. He bought a baby straight cash, and I love when she interviews the guy in the trunk. He's like, "How do you feel about getting your reparations? You don't have to work anymore." It's like, "What do you mean work?" Like, he's like, "Well, aren't you a truck driver?" He's like, "No, I just bought this right now." It's like this cart, a bunch of fucking cigarettes.
I'm a janitor. I just bought this truck straight cash. It's enough cigarettes to last me and my family the rest of our lives. You guys didn't make this easy because I still have a lot on the list. I wanted to do the Rick James one. I feel like I shouldn't do the Rick James one.
You can.
It does make me laugh out loud.
We did talk about it.
Yeah, pick one we haven't talked about.
I'm gonna go for my number 5. I'm gonna go Pop Copy.
Yeah, that was on my list too.
I'm gonna go.
Good one.
I think, especially because I probably worked in retail more than you guys did. I mean, that's how you feel about customers when you work at a retail place. You might ask yourself, why do we treat our customers this way? Because fuck them, that's why.
Can we just talk about which ones that we didn't?
Yeah, we gotta do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've got a handful. So I had the Three Daves.
That's a great
one. Yeah, like I just want to zoom and you boom boom.
I riggedy realized that I liggity love you.
I had that. I had the Samuel Jackson spear. That one was tough for me not to put in.
Black Gallagher, great one. Want me to smash this fruit?
We smash some fruit. Also, Blackzilla.
That's a good one.
It looked like one eye mustard trousers.
Anything with Paul Mooney. Why did we not pick anything with Paul Mooney? Ask a Black Dude is one of the funniest skits ever. Stephen King almost says the N-word. Shit's so funny. Paul Mooney is just, oh God. I'm so glad he featured him in that show because he's just an icon of comedy, man. He's so good. Anything he touches. It's just how smooth he talks. His delivery is just so smooth and it's just funny as fuck every single time.
We didn't pick anything from season 3, but I had a couple. I had the Tupac is still alive when he's in the club.
Oh, damn it! That's
Cribs
a good one.
too. The Cribs one is season 3, isn't it?
Yeah. The Cribs one where he cuts the head off the dinosaur egg that hatches. This is the most ballers shit ever.
I should have watched
Look,
3.
son.
I put diamonds on my food. No other reason to make my dookie twinkle.
Also, Black Howard Dean.
Good one.
Yeah.
What about Wu-Tang Financial? We didn't touch that.
That was a cut. I had that on the list.
You didn't take with the player haters. You didn't take the time haters though. That's a whole different segment in itself. When he goes,
that's true. It's a different skit.
They beat up Hitler. That shit's funny.
I like how it's just like in the montage. They're just whooping the shit out of different historical figures.
Yeah.
Or when they go, it's like, oh, this could be your great grandpappy. And it's Charlie Murphy. Don't make fun of them.
They make eye contact. Yeah.
Or the True Hollywood Prince story. I like Charlie Murphy a lot.
Yeah.
I think he was like one of the best parts of that show.
And again, I'm glad we didn't talk about that one. It's so, that's just one, like the Rick James and Prince is just, those are the two that he's
it's
iconic.
that, and then the other, I think probably more so than the Prince one, but another one that we didn't talk about that's one of the more populars is the blind black white supremacist.
Clayton Bigsby. That's a great one.
Yeah, I mean that's up there.
I mean that should be,
but that didn't make any of our top 5s.
Could you imagine if that came out now?
Oh, people would hate it.
I mean 90% of this show couldn't come out now.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, people would all over get mad about it, but I still think it'd probably be the funniest shit ever. Let me see. I want to see your face. Who's that?
Show us your face.
You want to see my face?
Who wants to see my face?
Conolingus Rice. Conolingus. Oh fuck! And that's the thing. Like you can't even quote some of those because it's so bad. Some of the shit he says. But
we get canceled if we start quoting any more of that.
We just started, for Christ's sake. I don't feel like getting canceled right now.
Yeah.
I'm just starting. Let me give my few years before somebody finds out how big of a prick I was.
Yeah. You can't get canceled if you've made $0 doing it. Right?
We can find a way by saying the stuff that would be shitty.
Yeah. We'll just go ahead and be not shitty people. All right. Well, I think we crushed that. I think
there's so much more too.
I mean, we could go on. We could do an hour and 20 minutes on just this.
Oh, what's the Wonderful Life skit he does where the girl wishes she didn't have such big boobs?
It's a wonderful chest.
That's what it is.
Or New York boobs. Gray New York boobs.
Yeah, New York. That's one of those ones that like Jenna and I will quote to each other every now and again.
Yeah.
It's like, please don't run.
And sir, you have great genetics.
You have great New York boobs. That's my daughter.
All right. Well, moving on. I've got a kind of a weird one to end the show. There's a conspiracy theory that Wayfair is partaking or at least complicit in human trafficking.
Okay, but this is just a Reddit conspiracy because they're overcharging for like tables, right?
Yeah, I mean it started on Reddit. I think people are just bored with the quarantine.
From the 1 minute research I did on this topic, it looks like one guy just posted something on Reddit, and then everybody's like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense."
Yeah, so essentially, I guess the gist of it is if you go on Wayfair, there are certain products that are just wildly expensive. Like there were cabinets that were like $15,000.
If people don't understand what Wayfair is, like it's legitimately just IKEA that you ship at home. You got to put together the shit. It's not like it's like amazing furniture. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of weird. If the listeners, if there's some that don't know Wayfair, if you don't buy furniture, if you just sit on your floor, I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically just online furniture shopping. Most of it's not crazy expensive, crazy quality stuff. It's, I think most of it's supposed to be like getting discount furniture or just furniture at a good price. But there's these items that are wildly expensive, and apparently the descriptions for these items of furniture will be like there'll be like a word in it or something that is the name of a person that is missing. So it goes to like these missing persons ads of people with the name, and then the name will be in the description or like the name of the cabinet also.
Yeah.
And then there was somebody like tweeted a picture of the CEO of Wayfair, or the guy who's supposed to be the CEO of Wayfair, with that, is it Ghislaine Maxwell, that woman that got arrested that was friends with Epstein.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a picture of the CEO with her, and now everybody's running wild with this conspiracy. But if you do a little more research, it ends up looking a lot like bullshit.
What happens if you order one of these? Like what? Like if
Yeah.
there's this conspiracy out here. I mean, $15,000. I mean, it's a lot of money. Yeah, but why? Who's not just gonna put money down and see if it's for real?
I'm not.
I think
Is there a special way you have to pay for it?
let's get a GoFundMe going.
Let's
So
get
we
the
can
let's
figure
get
this
the
out for
listeners
our podcast.
donate now. We're gonna buy some stuff off Wayfair. Before I forget, Steve, can you read the ad read for Wayfair real quick?
Yeah. You want something nice for your home. You want something that's luxurious. You want something that you feel is unique to yourself. I just found this 2-drawer end table that's worth 20 grand. It's a nice pickup. Just get
It's
it.
so weird. This is all part of the ad read. They sent this over.
Yeah, I'm just reading what they're saying. I'm throwing out what they're putting out there. Yeah,
Well, see, that's kind of my point. Like, if you let's say that let's imagine that it's true, right? And people have this whole elaborate plan set up to sell people on the internet. Why are they doing it on Wayfair and not like the dark web or somewhere that's not completely out in the open? Like, why would you even risk that?
Do you know how to get onto the dark web? Because I know how to get to the Wayfair website.
No, but I'm also not trying to buy people. That's the whole point.
Yeah, I feel like if you're trying to buy a person, you should know how to get on the dark web.
Yeah.
Some people aren't that tech savvy. What do you want?
Well, then those people don't deserve to buy people. I mean, nobody does because nobody should, but like you can't.
Oh, fuck.
That's not how it works.
Okay, what? How far can I push this to where you start defending people buying people? Where do I have to push this?
Just based off of the.
What if it's not people? What if it's just drugs? Like, also, wouldn't a person cost a lot more than like $15,000?
That's my point. Like that's.
Well, I don't know.
Wait a second.
Again, Nick,
I
feel
Nick,
like you know the price of children. Can you give me an estimate of how much a person costs, Nick?
Yeah, Nick, what would you pay?
Well, I don't know. So, like, so anytime you watch a movie where they're like hiring a hitman, it always costs like $50,000 or $100,000. So, like, if you have to pay that much to get rid of somebody, how much do you have to pay to obtain somebody?
Do you think those movies are really doing their background work to find out how much a hit costs?
I mean, you'd want to get
Is this where
close
you're
because
getting
why
your
not?
is this where you're getting your info?
Where the fuck are you getting your info from? This is all that. This is the only place. This is the only places we have to pull our info from is past experiences.
I got the
If,
documents.
if Taken didn't do if Taken didn't do their background checks on how much it costs to sell people, then that whole movie's bullshit.
Well, yeah, didn't she sell for like a couple $100,000
Taken, you're
in the
talking
movie?
about?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Taken.
take it.
But that guy was famous. Well, this conversation's getting weird. In the world of Taken universe, that guy was like a CIA agent, so they knew the
Yeah.
risk going into it. It was a high entity. That's like the Rolex of children to steal. It's
They
just
didn't know that going into it, did they?
I think they got
Well, I mean, the guy that like all the people that were buying them, they're like rich oil people or something like that. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, they're buying the top. Okay, but like, I don't know. I don't think a regular person. I think a life is worth more than that. Devin, sue me.
How much would you pay, Nick?
I wouldn't pay anything. I'm not buying.
How,
I don't go on Wayfair.
when you're surfing the dark web, how much capital are you putting down?
Dude, I'm so mad that I don't know how to get to the dark web, and not because like I need anything that's on there. I just want to like. It seems like a super secret thing. I'm just curious.
your window shopping.
Just Google it, but do it incognito.
No,
So
I
nobody
feel like
knows.
that's gonna get me murdered. I'll get super murdered.
Black market. You go on Google. How's it not there? What do you mean? But it's like I don't understand computer stuff to that knowledge. Like you have to code all the way to get there. I'm so confused by that. Like they tell you
Are
like
you
there's
looking
so
it
much
up?
internet. No.
I think there's like a browser that you have to download. It's a special browser that you have to download, and I think you have to be invited to get into it, or you have to type in a certain URL into this certain browser to get into those kind of websites.
Oh, so it's like a country club then.
Kind of, kind of.
But if you want to buy organs instead of I don't know, like rent a pool
Yeah.
time cabana.
Yeah, I don't need a tea time. I need kidney time. I'm trying to.
You're right. This is an absolute wild way for us to end this show today. Whatever this topic is I'm more scared about getting canceled from this conversation than I was the Chappelle show stuff.
I was just about to say that. It's like we can't say bad things, guys. Now we're talking about freaking child buying. Or
We
whatever
went
the
from
fuck it
pretty
is.
bad to really worse, like very quickly.
It's not. It's not bad. We're not. I'm not defending it.
Sounds like you are. You're getting really upset about
Well,
the price of a child or a human.
I'm just saying logistically, if you were going to do that, you wouldn't do it on Wayfair.
Maybe people like to live for the thrill. I don't know. Fuck. I just don't know where. Like, how much stuff do they have listed for over 10,000? That's what I need to know. Like, is there just a lot of stuff, or
Is
was
it a
that?
lot?
I've seen a bunch of people tweeting that stuff out.
It's weird to me because if it's just one thing, you're like, well, that's just. I mean, the guy must have, whoever put it out there must have just been like, oh, I messed up. Don't feel like changing it. But if there's like hundreds, that's kind of weird. That is
Yeah.
weird.
Well, the guy used a handful of examples because there was like like 3 or 4 different cabinets, and they all had like different names in there, and then he would show like a screenshot of a name and a picture next to like a missing person.
This is the problem with that chick and what's her name, Jesseline, and
Jelaine?
Jelaine, whatever the fuck,
Ghislaine, whatever her name, the
Ghislaine,
Jizz lady.
and Epstein. Is that literally anybody that takes a picture with them is looked at as a predator? But the fact is, any notable influential person in the world has basically taken pictures with them or been to their parties or been with them, and it's weird as shit to see. So
Yeah.
it's like, so what, everybody that's like in that Illuminati thing or whatever the fuck people want to say, like the political powers are just all fucked? Like that's
Well, that's
just
the thing. Like that, like those people, they also went to social gatherings where they didn't do illegal shit. Like
Yeah.
just because you were at the same place as them at one point doesn't implicate you. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't look great. You'd rather not have a picture right next to them, but like
Tough. It's tough to have it. And they're like schmoozing. Like they're having a great time in those pictures. I think the
Yeah.
funniest thing out of all this is like Alan Dershowitz, how much he is like going
who's
like
that?
the old OJ lawyer that like is a guy that like talks about how like having sex with like 17-year-olds are just like fine or something like that. He's trying to like that weird fucking
Okay.
guy. He went to the island of sin and he's like, I been to the island, but I always would bring my daughter with me. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? That was his justification for him not being a predator. Is that he went to the island where that all that shit happens and he didn't partake, and he brought his daughter with him. I'm like, this is Alan Dershowitz. Just shut the fuck up.
Scumbags. Yeah, bunch of scumbags.
He's all these people are like jerk offs that's ever been with Epstein. I mean, it's a lot of people that you look later in life and you see, oh, they're pretty bad. Like, doesn't Spacey have a picture with freaking Epstein, or am I
I'm
just
sure he
like,
does.
let's just if he doesn't, let's Photoshop that so we can shit on Spacey more.
Spacey seems fairly litigious. I don't know that that's a good idea.
Yeah, true. Frank Underwood, he really is a creepy character. So is he. So
Yeah, they wrote it for him.
I tried to warn you.
but yeah, Wayfair, not buying from there. It's canceled for me. I don't even know if it's fake, if it's real. I'm not gonna take any chances. I'll buy my shitty furniture that I have to put together at IKEA. Thank you. The Swedish people would never do anything like that. All they want to do is make affordable furniture.
If it is fake and you're the CEO of Wayfair, how bad are you stressing out right now?
Pretty bad.
Is it worse, you think, than the Corona company? Like the Corona beer company?
Well, yeah, because like people know. What are you talking about?
Corona isn't trafficking humans.
People know. Like people know. Like it's funny because they're the same word.
I'm saying this is under the assumption that yes, it's a conspiracy theory and it's not true.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with the fallout of a conspiracy theory of something that's not true, right?
Yeah, but people actually do. But there are people that absolutely believe it.
There were people who absolutely believed you got coronavirus from Coronas.
I don't believe that.
No.
That's true.
No.
That is true.
No.
Do you see the sales?
Who is this, a Florida man?
Yeah. Hey, there's a lot more of them than there are of you.
That's very true. I am not multiple Florida men, so yes, there might be an opinion like that.
Facts are facts.
That's fair. I don't know. I think that I would rather be the Corona guy because, yeah, I
It's
think more
easy.
people.
They're buying more Coronas now. What do you mean? No one's not buying Corona.
No, they're not.
Are you kidding me? Is this a real? Wait, is this like a real thing? Like people are not buying Coronas
Yeah.
because of this? I thought that was like a corny dad joke.
Nope.
This is serious?
Yes.
I don't know.
Nope.
I think you're being corny.
Yup.
I think you look corny as hell.
Nope.
Hold up.
Man. You corny. Oh,
They're down
man.
100%. Nobody's bought one since the shutdown, is what I'm reading.
Shut up.
I had a Corona like 2 days ago. What are you talking? What are you
I
talking
had one
about?
last night.
All they have done is it's memes. It's just memes.
Well, the problem with being the CEO of Wayfair is those conspiracy theory people will never believe that it's not true. You could show them any evidence that you want. Conspiracy people are conspiracy people because they want to believe every conspiracy.
But that's become like a hot thing now. Like that's a trend.
Doesn't mean they're all wrong.
A lot of them are.
Most of them are.
Yeah, but doesn't mean that all of them are.
Did Epstein kill himself?
Heavens no.
That's the only one that's a truthful conspiracy theory.
There's more. There's aliens, dude.
I'm surprised Jelane's still alive.
Yeah, Ghislaine's about to though.
That doesn't add
She's
up.
about to.
Well, that's the thing, though, is I think if you kill her, then you start really raising a lot of questions. Like, then it's like, okay, like she can't also turn up dead.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you find her name on a cabinet you're trying to buy from Wayfair, then we'll know. The pieces will be connected.
Also, like
Puzzle will become clear.
if you buy if it let's say for instance that it is true and you buy the cabinet, do you also at least get the cabinet?
I would assume that the person was in the cabinet or something. Like that's what people are like stunned about. They're like, "Holy shit! I thought I would just bought this $17,000 cabinet."
Yeah, what if you didn't know that and you put money down to buy a cabinet, and instead of a cabinet, you got a kid on your doorstep, and you're like, "This isn't what I ordered."
I'm calling customer service.
Is FedEx delivering that? How's that being delivered?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, right. They'd have to.
Yo, your package won't shut the fuck up.
Or those Amazon drones to your doorstep.
There's a lot of flaws. There's a lot of
in this
like,
conspiracy.
yeah, there's just
In
a lot
every
of flaws.
conspiracy, in 95% of conspiracies, there's a ton of flaws.
Steel beams don't melt at that temperature, Nick.
Oh, gee, no.
Dear-
Let me tell you what
dear
we're not going
God.
to do.
This is getting worse. Everything we've done is getting worse.
Yeah, the moon's a Hollywood production. I saw the Hollywood studio they did that shit at
Fuck.
too.
Buzz Aldrin will fucking kill you. Have you seen him? He's notorious. He's notorious for punching the shit out of people that tell him the moon landing is fake.
He loves doing that. I would do it too. I'm like, bitch, I'm fucking.
If you went to the moon and then you came back, everybody's like, "You didn't go to the moon."
I mean, pissed. Like, what made you think this? It was on television. The fuck?
I don't know how you convince people.
You can't. They're conspiracy people for a reason. It's because they want to believe that they're being lied to.
Devin, in 2020, you can't convince anybody of anything that you want people to know or believe because that's just not right. Okay?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
true.
believe what I believe and fuck you. That's the 2020 motto. Well, bye everybody.
Everybody go fuck themselves. I'm gonna believe what I believe. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Wow, bold statement.
All right. Well, if you like that, you can follow us on Twitter at Jumbo Podcast, on Instagram at Relatively Jumbo Pod.
No one likes human trafficking, god damn it. If you like that, then you're gonna love us. What?
It's so bad.
Relatively
This is
Jumbo
bad.
Podcast is going to have a conspiracy theory made up about them tonight, about all 24 Twitter followers. We need everyone follow the social media platforms. We got Facebook, we got Twitter. I might make an Instagram. It's going to be fantastic.
There already is an Instagram.
God damn it.
Wait, is there really?
You can run the Instagram
Sure. I'll do it.
at Relatively Jumbo Pod.
A deal. I'll have to get that info later to be able to do it.
But yeah, follow us on social media. We're going to make a big effort to post more as we're just trying to get all this stuff off the ground. Also, tell your friends, like, subscribe, all that stuff. We kind of went all over the place there at the end. Any last words?
I just want to say that our podcast does not condone whatever Wayfair has done or whatever their issues are. I haven't bought shit from there. I might have bought one thing from there, but I'm going to throw it out tonight because of what the fuck happens. And it could be fake. It could be real. But all I'm saying is that don't buy shit from them anymore because why take the risk?
That was amazing. I'm happy you said that. I think to tack onto that, if any of this comes out in a transcript in court, just know that I will be pleading the fifth of all of the amendments. If I could only choose one, it would be the fifth.
1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead, ask me a question.
Hey, do you believe that Wayfair is
All right, folks, we're out of here. We'll see you on Thursday.
Thursday.
Later.
See you guys.
Hey, bye.